If you found my channel, there's a fair chance that you enjoy listening to music and watching movies. But just how good or bad is your music system in real terms? As you guessed from the video title, I found a free app that will measure and quantify how your music system is performing to equip you to improve it and correct any issues. Come and join me, I'll explain everything. If you're new to the channel, I'm Steve from soundsheavenly.com. My day job is making the cables that connect Bang & Olufsen music systems like this beautiful classic Beosystem 3500 behind me. However, I am also a music and movie lover, and I'm on a long-standing quest to get the best from my sound. Now, the app that I'm going to talk about in this video is not sponsoring this video. I've not contacted the makers of the app. I'm not being paid. I just think it is a superb free app. It's available for iOS devices, so iPhone and iPad. I'm not aware of a version for Android, so I apologise if you're an Android user. But for those of us who are on Apple devices, this is a game changer. The app is called House Curve. That's all one word. It's available as a free download on the Apple App Store. There are paid upgrades, but I've not used them. The basic free app appears to be free of adverts and works superbly. I've used it on all my home music systems, and I actually also use it when I go and audition speakers or stereo systems in a store, because I can then ignore what the salesman tells me and actually measure in real terms how those products are performing and see whether they suit my needs. So if you download the app, you'll initially be faced with a screen that says connect to your music system. It connects via AirPlay. So you just need something like an Apple Airport Express, a Weem Mini, Sonos Port, Bluesound Node, Bang & Olufsen's Playmaker Essence or Core, or any other music streamer that supports AirPlay. Incidentally, if you don't have a music streamer, go on eBay. I've got a number of Airport Expresses, pre-owned, as they're a discontinued item. The last one I bought cost me less than £13. Not 30, 13. They are superb and an absolute bargain at current prices. If you've got a B&O system like this, as I mentioned, my day job is making the cables that connect them. I'll put links in the video description, but this first cable will connect an Airport Express or Weem Mini or Chromecast Audio or AudioCast M5 or similar music player into a classic B&O system. And if you've got Sonos Port, Bluesound Node, Cambridge Audio music streamers, similar devices, this DIN to twin phono cable is the one you need. So less than £30 all in, and you can turn any classic music system from the 1960s onwards into a modern Wi-Fi streaming system, which now with this app can be completely configured and optimized. So using the B&O remote, we'll switch to the Airport Express, select it in the House Curve app, and we press the plus button, and you'll hear what the system does. It generates a tone like a submarine sonar that monitors the sound coming out. So let's have a listen. And here's the plot that was produced. So this probably looks like gibberish, to be honest, if you're not an electronics or audio engineer. However, let's have a little look at what this has told us about the audio system. Now, the yellow line that you see through the middle is a preference line. What this is it's not perfect sound, but it's a balance of sound that on industry testing has been found that most people tend to find as being a good sound balance. So it's a preference curve, not a perfection curve. And the shaded yellow band above and below, that's 3 decibels above and 3 decibels below, basically double at the top of that band or half volume at the bottom of the band. And they are sort of reasonable levels of variation. So typically the human ear won't mind if sound is within that boundary. Important disclaimer is that everyone's ears are different, and everyone's preferences are different. So please don't feel that if your music system doesn't produce sound within these boundaries that there's something wrong. No, if what we need to find out here is how to identify what you like for your ears. Now, to my own ears, these preference curves in the app actually match really well to what I like from my music. So I'm looking for something that gives me generally sound within the yellow shaded area. So looking at the plot, on the left hand side you see the deepest bass sound. On the right hand side is going up to the highest pitch treble. So right at the end of human hearing, and it's normal for your stereo system's response to drop off sharply at both ends, because at the deepest ends of sub bass you won't hear anything, and at the highest treble you won't produce anything. However, in the middle, typically between about 50 hertz and 15,000 hertz, you should have a reasonably flat response. You'll see, for example, here on this classic B&O system with some Dali Oberon 5 speakers in my living room, there is generally we're within that ideal response, except there is a single peak at just above 125 hertz where there's a mid bass pitch that is coming out particularly loud. So that probably points to the fact that maybe my speakers are a little bit too close to the wall. That's a typical cause of that, or possibly even that there is a resonance due to the size of the room and that particular pitch is coming out too strongly. If you find, for example, that you've got too little bass, sometimes bringing the speakers in towards the wall can help. If on the right hand side of the curve, the treble is dropping off very sharply, then that can often be caused by the speakers pointing in the wrong direction. If they're physically pointing to the back wall instead of being aimed at you as the listener, then that can affect the higher pitch sounds that you get at the listening position. You can incidentally run this in different places around the room. As you carry that phone with you and try the sound in different places, you will get different results, because this is using the microphone within your phone to monitor the sound. Now, little bit of pedantry for you, this is not a high quality microphone. However, its inequality, its errors are very well known, and so the app corrects for them. So basically, one of the beauties of digital signal processing is that you can work out exactly what sound was put in by the errored sound that the phone picks up. So it, to all intents and purposes, corrects back and gives you an almost perfect response from an imperfect microphone, if that helps. You can connect an external microphone if you wish, but there are minimal benefits from that. So what we can do here is, I know that I fundamentally like the sound in this room. So this, for me, a sound where a little bit of extra bass, but generally the mid-range and treble falling within those yellow shaded areas, that's my preferred sound. If you're maybe over 50, over 60 years old, you find that you're naturally starting to lose a bit of your high frequency response in your hearing, one thing you might prefer is to turn up the treble control on your stereo and actually have a peak on the right hand side of this plot where the green line of your response is actually above that shaded area, because that way you're actually putting back the extra treble sound that your ears are losing due to their natural sort of age-related loss. And conversely, if you're in your 20s or 30s, you've got really sharp, acute hearing, you might actually want to turn the treble down a little bit on your stereo, because your ears would be very, very sensitive to it. This app, if you have subwoofers, will be even more useful. It will let you see whether you can work out whether the phase of the subwoofer is correct, whether the level and the crossover points are correct, by looking at how the deepest bass frequencies match in, and it can be a really useful tool to adjust your subwoofer and speakers. You can actually do this on newer B&O speakers that have room compensation built in, which is really useful because you can see how well it's working in your home. So here's the plot for my stereo paired emerge speakers in my bedroom, which you'll see is almost textbook perfect. They work so well, and to my ears they probably have the sweetest tone at low volumes of any music system I've heard. They really are incredible. This is a testament to just how good B&O's room compensation is. And what we're doing here effectively is adding in manual room correction to any system, whether that be a 1990s system, even a 1960s or 70s classic system. All you do is add in your AirPlay equipped streamer, a simple cable and the app, and you can then manually make those adjustments the old-fashioned way by tweaking tone controls on the stereo, adjusting the position of the speakers in the room. This app for me is a game changer. As I mentioned, I have no affiliation to the people who made it. I would like to say to them thank you to the House Curve designers. You have done a superb job, and I recommend this app to anyone with a music system and an iPhone. I'm quite enjoying taking this round hi-fi shops, connecting to the system if I like the sound, and just finding out how that matches up to what I've got at home. I don't have to guess anymore and think, would this sound better than what I've got? I can see immediately. So please get in touch if you'd like. Let me know if you've tried this out and if you've had good results or you've had issues with it. Let me know if you're interested in connecting your classic B&O system and you'd like help with cables. I'll put the links in the description so that on my website soundsheavenly.com you can get the cables to connect a music streamer to your system. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.